Well, for this review, we dig into a new volume, Volume 47, and are also introduced to the mysterious character that seems to have ties to Brooke.
One Piece Chapter 450, Night of the Zombie Generals.
Oh boy, you know, every time I get to a new volume, it just, it brings a smile to my face, because when I get these and I buy them, even when I do the unboxing, I'll hold them up and everything like that, but I never look at or read the back or give any more than a passing glance to the front cover, because I don't want to be spoiled as to maybe some of the characters that may be in that particular chapter or introduced in that arc or in that volume. So, but very cool stuff, and here we are chugging along, starting up Volume 47. So, well, hello, my brothers and sisters of the Nerd Nation. I, as always, am Jim, and I'm here to bring you another review on the awesome and excellently woven, thriller-esque type tale of One Piece. Now, our last chapter and, of course, volume really wound up ending off with a bang, so to speak. We were introduced to Absalom the Pervert, Perona the Ghost Princess, and then, of course, we saw shadows of him, but we wind up finding out that it seems like the antagonist, the bad guy, if you will, the villain of this arc is going to be none other than one of the 7 warlords of the sea, Gecko Moria. So things wound up ending off on that note with basically everyone kind of summoning the undead and bringing together all the forces of this island that we found out is actually a giant ship, and it ended off with them beginning what they called the Night Hunt. So that's how things left off, and that's right where things pick up. And what I really am enjoying so far about this, is it's the tale of 2 crews. You have, or 2 groups, right? You have the group that's kind of like the Scooby and Shaggy from Scooby-Doo group. You know, you've got Nami, obviously one of the weaker characters, more attractive, yes, weaker, also yes, you know. And then you've got Chopper, who's had his moments, but for the most part is a big scaredy cat. And then Usopp, who again, who's had moments, but is very, very scared and just always kind of, you know, running from his own shadow type of thing. So you've got that group, and then you've got the beasts, right? You've got Frankie, you've got Robin, you've got Sanji, you've got Zoro, and you've got Luffy, and they're just plowing through the island. Anybody they come across, they're just beating the shit out of. They're bitch slapping and taking names, right? And the other group is they've made it through, but by a lot of running and hiding and you know, that sort of thing. So very cool stuff. And again, this one's no different. This one actually goes and picks up inside the mansion, inside Dr. Hogback's laboratory, which they kind of burst in on inadvertently because of this character, which we are introduced to very quickly, and they say he's Ryuma, a samurai, Ryuma, and he hails from the country of Wano, W-A-N-O, from the New World. He, however, immediately asks Nami if he can see her panties, just like Brooke did. And although he looks different, the character itself is actually a great character design, I thought. I was thinking initially the tattered stuff and everything like that. I was thinking like something like Captain T-Bone. And this, to me, is actually cooler looking than Captain T-Bone. I'll try to get it in the frame over there. This dude just looks like a cool, straight-up, like, kabuki warrior, you know, from back in the days, you know, from like a samurai, man. Just very, very cool stuff, you know. And I just like his whole, just the whole outfit, the garb. He's got a badass-looking sword, you know what I mean? So it looks like a poor man's half-dead Zoro. But anyway, we're introduced to him, and he was the character that wound up coming up behind them, and of course that wound up causing them to kind of burst into the laboratory. Dr. Hogback, it's so funny because he's still like denying shit, you know. He's like, oh, so you say that I've done this and that. What proof do you have? It's like, they're like, dude, we saw you. We saw, like, we read the thing about the autobiography or whatever, the obituary of Sindri, you know, Victoria Sindri or Sindri Victoria, whatever, you know, died 10 years ago, right? So anyway, he's like, oh, no matter, throw them into the darkness or the dark pit or something like that, right? So this Ryuma, he winds up going, and it looks like he's walking away from him, right? But then he does this thing called a 3-step slash, and all of a sudden they're like, it looks like they're pulled or knocked over by some unseen force, but I don't know if it's just supposed to be that he's like so fast that he already went and like cut them down and they didn't even know, because then he's like putting his sword away, and you saw none of it happen on the panels. So maybe I'll get a better idea in the anime, or maybe you'll explain it to me in the comments down below. But certainly it seemed like one of those like moves where it's so quick, either one of 2 things. Either it's like some magical invisible force where we didn't even see it at all and we'd never see it, or number 2 is, the more plausible one is that he's just supposed to be so trained and such a great samurai that he's so fast you don't even see him. You know what I mean? You just feel the after effects. One of those type of things where it's like a couple seconds after it happens, all of a sudden you're like, oh fuck, I'm dead, right? So Anyway, so that's how their part of the chapter goes. Then we go to the beasts, right? We go to Luffy's crew. Luffy and Sanji and Zoro and Robin and Frankie, they're all outside Hogback's mansion, and they're knocking to come in. Bust down the door, bust into the door. They get in there and they get into that great hall, that main room where it had the bear rug and the pig that talks on the wall and all the people coming out of the paintings. The one where Usopp, Nami, and Chopper were running for their lives and wound up going through the secret fireplace entrance just a couple of chapters ago. They come in there and they're and he's and Luffy's like, "Hey, Gecko Moria, where are you at?" Because you know, Luffy, I'm gonna beat your ass. That's how he talks. You know, he's just basically straightforward. You know. So all of a sudden, the pig starts talking to him on the wall, you know, and all the creatures come out and start attacking him. And what's great to see is just to see how the beasts wind up handling it. And I'm talking about our beast Straw Hats, you know. Just handily defeats and whips everybody's ass right back into place. Then they go and take and capture the damn pig, which is great. Sanji disappears somewhere in the mix, and Luffy's like, "Ah, don't worry, he'll be okay." Now, if I know Sanji, his disappearing act is going to wind up coming back around full circle in 10, 20, or 30 chapters with some kind of comical thing that he wound up doing that actually saves their asses. However, they seem to think that because there's a couple of these creatures sort of snickering over in the corner and trying to be quiet, that maybe they somehow led him astray or got him, maybe captured him, got him away. I don't know. So I guess we'll wind up seeing exactly what winds up happening, you know, in the chapters to come, you know. So, but I mean, just to see everybody go through in a matter of just a few panels and a few pages. You know, you see Robin busting some ass. You see Frankie. You see Luffy going and just going, you know, just gum, just bazooka, taking out the bear rug guy. And then they, like I said, then they wind up grabbing the pig off the wall, and they're going to take him with them. And the pig's talking shit still. "You don't understand. He's one of the 7 warlords. His name is Gecko Moria. Matter of fact, his name is so scary. I'm so scared of him and what he's going to do to you. I can't even say his whole name," right? And basically, he's just talking shit now, you know. You think because you're kind of strong that you can do this and that? Luffy thinks he can do whatever the fuck he wants, and that's what I like about Luffy in a way, you know what I mean? He's just so direct and so straightforward. It's like, I want that. I'm gonna get it. I don't know how I'm gonna get it, but I'm gonna get it because I want it, you know? And that's what I like about Luffy. Good stuff. So, but anyway, the end of the chapter winds up being pretty cool because we wind up seeing, we find out that that character, that Ryuma, the samurai, is actually a general, right? He's one of the zombie generals. So these zombie generals they're more than your average type of zombies, you know. They obviously are more powerful, and we can assume because of the similarities that Brook has some kind of connection to that, and that maybe he himself was once one of these zombie generals, or that maybe he himself hails from the country in the new world of Wano. I don't know. But that'll remain to be seen. But nonetheless, though, we wind up finding out that, obviously, about the zombie generals. And then we go and we see Absalom, and he's going and waking. Now you can actually see the guy, and he kind of has, looks almost like a, I'm pretty sure it's Absalom. He winds up looking, it looks almost like a cat, like a cheetah, something like that. Some sort of a feline type of look, you know. And he goes into this, like, church or whatever, and he's going to raise up a bunch of the generals from their coffins or their sarcophagus, their caskets, whatever, right? And then there's a bunch of zombies, too, that have now surrounded the mansion. They're talking about this night hunt and how it's began and have no mercy, and you're going to fight and this and that, you know? And it was just kind of a cool way to end off the chapter because you just sort of feel like, oh boy, the shit's about to hit the fan, you know? You get the kind of the look over here as he goes and he gets up and he's going into the mausoleum, maybe that is, maybe it's a church, I don't really know. But waking up all the, you know, the generals and whatnot, all the undead. And as he wakes up, he's like, "The Straw Hat Pirates are only 8 strong. Defeat all of them and offer them to your master. Go now." And then you got, I mean, you look at some of the guys. I like this dude. You got this big-ass looking dude. He's your tank right over there. You got that dude. This dude looks pretty cool, too. Looks like some crazy-ass sort of zombified, you know, 4-armed gunslinger. Very, very cool stuff. And I just cannot wait to get into the next one over here. So, my chapter question for you, brothers and sisters, is, would you rather be in the Nami group, right, the kind of scaredy cat, the Nami, Chopper, and Usopp group, or would you rather be with the beasts, the Luffy, the Frankie, the, you know, those type of guys, the Sanji, the Zoro? So, and I know for a lot of you think, oh, well, just a stupid question, that's a no-brainer, I would just be with the beasts. You know what, though, honestly, there's advantages to both sides. Let's put it this way. Usopp's got a lot of character. He really does. He truly does. And Nami, there's a lot more that meets the eye to her, too, right? So, on the one hand, you've got, to me, the more entertaining one right now is the Scaredy Cat group, and just the way you see them go and go and progress throughout the island. Whereas with the other group, it's almost just like it's almost like playing a game on easy or casual and you're really good. You just mow right through it. There's no challenge, there's no nothing, at least at this point yet. So, but let me know what your thoughts are on which group you'd rather see or rather be with, hypothetically. Let me know the answer to that in the comments down below. Feel free to hit the thumbs up, the like button if you should think that I deserve it, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. We will look forward to catching all of you in the next Fun Nation.